Put I can, because that's the talk that's going to get you. Not I'm a try or I can't, I can, because it's very powerful of the different things you can do with that. Now, here's the first thing that I worked on with myself that transitioned into leadership for me. Connecting. You know, a lot of people as leaders or as just how to communicate. And a lot of people focus on themselves and saying what they want to say rather than listen who they're talking to, or listen to what that person to need to be able to communicate, because you think everybody speaks your language, whether it's the language of money, the language of love, you think everybody's on your way. And being able to communicate is extremely important, not only when you're getting someone, but you're continuously being able to teach that person on what to do. And even for those people that know how to communicate, here's a shift in this. A lot of people know how to communicate, but only a few can connect. There's only a few that can connect. And I had to learn, first of all, the awareness that there does need to be a connection. There's actually a book on it. I think it's a John C. Maxwell book, who says a lot communicate, only few connect. So for me to connect, I had to connect with myself, first of all, because I could talk to myself all I want. And I know you guys out here saying self-talk and affirmations, but then you're not even feeling what you're saying. You're not connecting with yourself. You're just saying it to the point where there's a thin line between, talking, being a visionary and being a liar to yourself. So you got to connect with yourself. Don't be afraid of that. And I had to learn how to connect with people, not just myself, but the people I'm talking to. And here's the importance of connection. See, it's like when I was younger, first of all, I used to love these little race cars, the little remote control cars. And if you were back in my age, your little remote control cars they aren't like the ones today. They aren't like the ones where you could drive. We had the little small cheap ones that had like the little wire, and if it drove too far, then you would lose connection. And then you got to chase it down if you wanted to go faster, right? But why I'm even saying this, because a lot of times, even when you have that remote thing that can steer you, that can guide you, like an opportunity, if it does not connect with you and the vehicle, then it won't move. It's literally like you have to create a connection to be able to move between yourself, who's the remote, and the vehicle. So a lot of people are trying out here shifting and doing the how-tos, and then their opportunity won't grow because you don't connect with it. And I understood connection was important. So, when you want to move something, you have to connect with it. When you gotta, if you ever seen your car get towed, you understand that it's not just because they called communications, because they picked that bad boy up. They hooked up to it, they connected to that, and they started moving it. So to move people, you have to be able to connect. The first C. And why some people are afraid to connect, because we all get to a point where we not only struggle, but we're embarrassed by our struggles. So I understood my struggles. I connected with my situation where I was, and I use my struggle as my privilege now, because only a few people can actually go out and connect with my type of people. Some people are embarrassed by sharing their stories. I'm not embarrassed by it. I didn't even know I was struggling. That's how I don't want to say delusional, but that's how less of awareness I had, to where every single person around me was struggling till we don't even know we're doing it. But I had to find out how to connect with the people so that I can move people. I connected with myself every morning so I can move myself to doing the right activity. Then when I'm talking to people, I'm connecting. So I used to go out there when I used to share the opportunity. Even till now, I let people know I can connect with you, even though they might look at my results today and say, well, this guy is already some kind of expert. He's been doing it for a while. I know how it felt in 2012. I just had my moment back then, but it's the same moment now. So I start off by connecting with everybody going through the situation today. And what I like about why I say my struggle is my privilege is because that's what builds my character. I'm not afraid of that. Your struggle and what you go through is what people judge you on. That builds your character. So the more you go through, understand that, the man put you on this earth to develop yourself, to strengthen your abilities by putting you through struggles. And sometimes when people don't go through it, they end up being weaker. So I felt like it was a privilege I had to be able to build some tough skin doing this business, going through what I was going through. Now, if you haven't gone through struggle, you just don't know if you have because you're so used to it. But I know that I appreciated every single thing and hurdle I went through because that's what people judge me on today. That's my character. So my struggle is my privilege. And I use that to connect. So you got to learn how to not just communicate, connect with people when you're starting your opportunity, because how you open your opportunity is how you close it. And that's what we do still till today. Now, the next thing you also have to learn, even in this time, the moment you get somebody on your page and you connect, you have to be able to adapt in any situation. You got to adapt. Now, when I mean adapt, you got to understand, not only does our opportunity evolve every single day, but our economy is evolving. This thing is organic. And a lot of people, even when we had this shutdown, we're so used to being in the trenches, belly to belly, and being able to, you know, as Edwin says, you know, high tech will never replace high touch. It won't, but are some people using that as an excuse because they're not high tech people to go out there and do what they have to do? Because we're in a high tech form right now? Because a lot of people, you know, they say, nah, you know, the Zoom thing, I'm just not used to doing it. Champions adapt. And you have to always be prepared for anything that's about to happen. So, you know, like so I said, when I moved from Brooklyn to actually move to Florida, I had to adapt. It's a completely different environment. It's a completely different things. And some people don't see change and being able to adapt as a blessing. They feel like because it's new, it's always going to be a struggle. And then again, they forget the privilege of struggling. So I had to adapt. I had to come here. I had to go out there, meet people, adapt to the environment, try to move a certain way so I didn't stand out and look awkward and weird. But I was learning my environment. I wasn't staying away from it. I wasn't saying, well, because I'm a New Yorker, I can't operate and do things like, no, I had to come in, see, learn, move a certain way. And that's how people have to do in life, especially in business, where things are happening out of our control right now. And we either going to say, well, I'm this type of person, or I'm going to become that person by adapting to high tech, because we don't do high touch right now. And thank God for Zoom to be able to even have high tech in a moment like this. You know, I'm the guy that was always in the trenches. Now I'm the guy that's on Zooms 4 or 5 times a day. So I adapt. Now, the attitude of adaptation is really what's going to make it become more productive, though. Because then you all going to go out here and say, man, well, I'm going to just do it because they're saying to do it. But if I don't have the right attitude, will it turn over? Will it work? If you're just going to do it without the attitude of gratitude, without appreciating, having the ability to be able to still operate our business when everything else isn't working. And that's why we're moving so fast, I believe. You know, we're champions, and we're adjusting, we're adapting, and we have the right attitude about it, where we're open to change. And that's what the next thing is. It's all about adapting. Now, the end is going to be funny because I got a quick story to talk about this one. And is simple. Like when I was growing up, I grew up in Flatbush, right? And in Flatbush, we lived in an apartment. We lived in an apartment, and in this apartment, it was literally on right across the street. Of all my Brooklyn people, y'all know Prospect Park, right in the middle of Flatbush. I lived right across the street on a 5-floor walk up, no elevator, 5 floors. Growing up, walking up the steps when I rode my bike as a child, I had to lift my bicycle up every single day up them stairs if I wanted to get up there, get back and forth home. And at some point, I don't know, I can't remember if this was around in high school or even, you know, just in the transition. What started to happen is the older I get, the more I needed and I wanted things, you know. I wanted to be cool. I wanted to make sure my sneakers was always clean and stuff like that. And I became the kid, because I was in school, that would ask my parents for a lot. Like I had to make sure my clothes was looking good. I didn't want nobody to judge me at school. I didn't want to be the kid in school with the dirty sneakers and you know, not having that nice icy white t-shirt on. You know, back then that was a thing. But I would start to ask my parents for a lot, and I didn't know what my parents were really doing in the background. So every time I would ask my mom for money, she would tell me no. My dad, I asked him for stuff. no. I just feel like for years, it just became no, 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 to the point after a while, I stopped asking. And I started to becoming more independent because I wanted to do for myself more, because it's like, I'm never looking for a handout. I'm always looking for an opportunity. But I learned that from my parents when they saying, stop asking for a handout. You're getting older now. Be aware that you have to go out there and do things for yourself. And we're here, and for years, man, every time I'm in high school, I'm asking my parents for stuff. I get a no, ask them for a cell phone. It's a no. I had to go out there and get my own job and become independent and go out there and do things for myself. But why I'm even saying this story, because I didn't know how rough it was out there. Some of you guys understand when we out here doing these presentations and you just inviting and somebody's doing something for you, we're always here to help. But at some point, it's either you're going to get pushed out there, you're going to step up. Somebody's going to say, I'm going to say no to you for this presentation. You're going to learn how to do it, or you're just going to have to step up and want to be in business for yourself. You're here for yourself, but not by yourself. But at some point, you got to take independence. And we literally, I got no's for years. Like my parents would never, I don't know. After a while, I just got so pissed off. I would stop asking them. And I just felt like, they just, I don't know, like when you're a child, you don't really see what's going on behind the scenes. And one day we actually, this is years after, I think it's literally about to graduate high school. So I felt like it started in mid high school. 3 years later, when I'm about to graduate out of high school, parents told us to all get in the car. It's me, my older sister, my younger brother, and we get in this car and parents is driving us. And, you're a kid, you're looking out there, looking out the window, where we going? Just like my kids ask, what we doing? Where we going? And we get down this one block and they start driving by and they're like, there it is. And we like, what? And we turn to our left and we're looking and we're like, Lord, who the hell lives here? And they're like, that's our new house. That is our new home. And we seen like this huge home. And we're like, excuse me? All those years of telling us, no, we can't do this. You can't have that. We pull up and there's a brand new house. Now, this is us moving from Flatbush to now Canarsie. Huge 2-family home. And we're looking at that. I was like, damn, this is why they've been saying no all these years. And I'm saying this story because a lot of people have a reason why they want to do things. Our parents had a reason why they wanted to get us out of the neighborhood to put us in a better situation. Now, how many people will go out there and says, listen, I'm doing this for my kids, for my family, but yet the same reasons why we say we're going to do things is the same reasons that's hold you back. My parents didn't have any excuses when it came to us. They knew we wanted more. They wanted to help us. They wanted to give us all the fancy things, but instead of just going out there and giving up and saying, all right, cool, let's just give them the good clothes and all the stuff they want, because we tired of hearing them complain. Let's do that. They just kept saying no and no with no excuses. They were saving up for years to finally buy this home, and they made it happen. But some of us are doing what we want to do for our family, for our kids, and we're going out there and they're distracting us. They're complaining. They say, well, I want your time. I want this. I want that. And sometimes we bend and we fold. And the same reasons why we're doing it become the reasons why we don't do it, because we don't put that seasoning to do what we have to do. And I appreciate them for that. Now, here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about this, though. We looked at that home and we're like, we ain't living in there. We didn't like it. We did not like it. We did not want to stay there. I even got to the point where my sister would rebel and actually stay back in our old apartment, even though there was nothing in there. I'm sharing this story. She's watching. She's probably going to be mad. But we did not like that. And the reason why was because it's just not a house sometimes. And that's not the vehicle. It's who's in it to make it home for you. But we didn't see it that way. We figured like, all right, well, no, we're so used to our friends being over here in this culture that now that we're in this neighborhood, it doesn't feel right. This is not us. A huge home. Anybody would appreciate moving out the hood to be putting a big home where you got your own room now. You got a backyard, a front yard. And we didn't appreciate it that much because we wanted to be around the old friends. And time had to go by for me to understand, for us to understand as children, that our parents are putting us in a better position. Even though we're so used to certain things, we're in a better position, and we got more, and we don't even recognize it because we're so busy looking back. And why I'm saying this is because some of you guys, we're here now in this new home, and some people are looking back, worrying about the people that was back before. They're worrying about the environment they were before, the friends that they left. And now they're not taking advantage of understanding that making a move and being in a new home is a blessing that we worked hard to do. We work hard to be here because they're not adjusting to something new. And here we are with space, a room, no more 5 floors walk. It's not even hard no more. Now it's worth living in this home. But yet we want to live back with the friends that wasn't doing nothing. We want to go back and be around people who wasn't even right for us at the time. Because we focused on the friendship, understanding that everybody that needs to be home is home. And I had to understand that my mom is here, my dad is here, my siblings, this is home. But people were just looking at the environment, thinking the environment was home. It's not just where you go, it's who are you with that makes it home. And we started to appreciate a lot more, moving us from Flatbush to Canarsie and stuff like that. And what I do at this point is I just make sure that I just keep elevating my environment so that when my kids grow up, they're also raising the bar for every generation. So the thing that I'm saying about this story is because my parents did not have any excuses when they did what they did. They went out there, they worked hard, they did what they had to do to change our environment. Here we are now. Everything I felt like we've been doing before in our past years, no matter where we're coming from, was practice. And now we're in a game where we finally made all those decisions and struggles we did to build our character, and now we're home. We got to enjoy this house and protect this house we actually live in it, and understand everybody's home, and go out there and live our best life. And but again, we can't have any excuses. We cannot have any excuses. So you got to tell yourself every day, I can connect, I can adapt, and I have no excuses. You got to talk to yourself that all the time. And when you start to do that, everything else will start to align. If you keep telling yourself, I have no excuses, I can adapt, I can connect, I can. It's extremely important to have that self-talk, but to have that awareness for all these things, because these things align. So when you're going out there and you're thinking about why things aren't going right for me, what kind of self-talk are you telling yourself? Who are you around? Are you reaching up, or are you reaching side? Are you reaching down? And a lot of this stuff, again, became my story. And then out of all of that self-talk that I kept telling myself through every struggle, I can. I'm going to connect, adapt, and I have no excuses. Connect, adapt, no excuses. Connect, adapt, no excuses. The moment I got here and I get access to a Mr. Bugs, Mr. Haynes, a T. Gray, a Mark, everybody around me now teaches me the how-to. My character combined with the how-tos and the skill of how to do this and the game plans, that collaboration is the best music that I feel like is going on in our life and that we're marketing right now. When you collab your self-talk with the skill, the music is beautiful. And I'm grateful for that. That's why I'm grateful that I'm here and being able to build and talk and be a part of this platform. I felt like it was out, we couldn't wait to catch this vibe that we have here, so no pun intended. But I hope you guys get something for that. So work on your self-talk. Always tell yourself I can. Work on your connection. Make sure you adapt and have a great attitude, and make sure you don't have any excuses. Don't let the reasons why you do things or you say you're going to do things stop you from doing those things. Just go out there and get it done and better your skills. Be independent. Go out there and learn what you got to learn. And that's all I have for you guys today, man. Just keep telling yourself I can. Go out there and get it done. No matter what's going on in our world, stay blessed, stay safe, and if you can, stay home. Keep grinding. So I hand this back over to you, T. Gray and Mark. I appreciate you guys for having me on.